The story is about Lisan the fisherman, who's an orphan but who has always believed he was descended from royalty. At the beginning of the novel, it's been 8 years since he left his wife in the water village. Now he's back, and he says he can prove it. At the same time, in a parallel narrative, we go back 600 years to when a forbidden relationship between the royal children of Brunei sets into motion a chain of events which will end with the death of a king or the death of a god. So as the novel progresses, we find out more about the story of Lisan's true intentions and what he was really doing in those years away. And we also unravel the story of those doomed royal children and the god that they called forth. My story was inspired actually by a bit of fake news. It was a picture that was floating around the internet, I think in 2010 or 2011, of a giant sea serpent. So the picture was taken in an aerial view of the Brunei River, and the picture showed a giant sea serpent swimming underneath the river's surface. So it was inspired by that, by the strength of and interest in snakes and sea serpent imagery in Brunei. There are a lot of myths about the water village and what lies underneath it. I was also inspired by fragmented bits of history from Brunei, so the story of the Sultan shooting the crown jewels into the river, and the story of those royal children is actually one that is showcased on a plaque in the middle of our capital city, and so the graves are there as well. I didn't know a lot about these various histories, and I deliberately didn't try to find out much more because I liked the suggestiveness of these stories in their outlines, and I wanted to think of a way to tie them all together. My hope is that my fellow Bruneians will read this story, that they will like this story, that they will see something in it that reflects or makes magical Bruneian history in some way. I hope that in challenge to this story or in rebuttal to it, they go off and write their own stories, and I really think there's so much Bruneian talent that they could write much better magical historical fiction than I could, so I really hope that I get to read more of that.